Hello and welcome again to another brand new episode of Slippery Slopes podcast, and we are very happy to see you here again on YouTube and Spotify. And with that, today we have another hot episode and
our very own Aayush Chawla.
yeah, so I went to Kashmir. On Kargil Vijay Divas.
On the next weekend. We spoke about why are people going to the mountains.
Yeah. So if you guys have listened,
he ventured on to go to the ultimate mountains.
भाई थर्ड वेव आने वाली है, उससे पहले फटाफट हिमाचल उगाता हूँ.
So if you guys would have listened to the full podcast, I clearly said that even after speaking all about why we should not go to mountains or why we should,
we might
just do that, right? So I did that. I'm not guilty of it. I was there, right, on a presidential visit. Even
presidential visit.
Yeah, even.
Can you please explain?
Yeah, so it's pretty complicated, but so we were there and we were in the guest list of the president and their convoy that went to Kashmir on Kargil Vijay Divas, and we were also there with them.
How many years since the Kargil war? 20.
20, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Big day.
So we were there standing for national anthem while people were sneaking up from the mountains. You know, we were just thinking.
What?
Yeah, so there was this big ground. There was national flag. There was all the army around us, right? And it was a camp basically.
Where? This is where?
This was before Pahalgam. So there is this camp base that comes in between in the journey towards Kashmir and Pahalgam. There is this army camp, and we were there, and you know there was this national anthem going on, right? Because it was Kargil Vijay Divas.
Obviously.
Military was there.
It would have been weird if the national anthem wasn't
Military was there. We were respecting the anthem and the flag and that, and
no.
in all the right spirits.
Who was looking at you from up the
so
hills?
There were
What is
mountains,
this?
and there were people looking towards us.
Like normal people, not sharpshooters.
I don't know that. I'm still confused about that, but yeah. So people were looking towards us, and I was just hoping that I should not get shot.
On a scale of 0 to how scared were you?
इतनी फट गई थी कि कुछ भी नहीं सीता बाद में. No, but it was not scary because you are with the army and you are protected on all guards. But again, if someone is there, on the mountains, there are like 10-15 people and they are just looking at you with a stick in hand. If that was a stick.
Normal civilians.
I don't know that. They were normal civilians. So, visiting Kashmir, I uncovered a lot of facts that Kashmiri people still think that is true. So, we were traveling in a mini private RTV, and our driver said, to
So,
us,
how is Kashmir? How is Kashmir?
Right, Kashmir
like
is
I
beautiful.
went to Kashmir when I was a child.
Kashmir is fucking beautiful. I mean, it is rightly said as the mini Switzerland. I've been to Europe. I've been to 7-8 countries in Europe, but they're unmatched to what Kashmir is. It is so beautiful. There is river. There is mountains.
Dal Lake.
Not only Dal Lake, there is this
Indus.
The river flowing. So
the infamous Indus River.
Yeah, where all this civilization began. Yeah, so there is river, there are mountains, there are plains. It is so beautiful. There is ice, there is rain, there are rains, there is sun, heat, scorching heat. The next moment, there are windy breezes going all around. So, I mean, Kashmir is super beautiful. Yeah, Indian government cannot market it as a touristy place because a lot of political unrest and conflicts do take place, right? So, I was telling you one thing. There is this short story. So, we were in Kashmir and we were buying, almonds and apricots and walnuts, apples. So I inquisitively asked that, "Bhaiya, आपके पास किशमिश है?" Raisins, yeah. So
for the South Delhi people.
Yeah. I hope someone from South Delhi is watching. That's one possibility. So I just asked that, "Do you guys have raisins here?" So he said, "Bhaijan, मिलेगी क्यों नहीं मिलेगी?" मैंने कहा, "So I want the quality that is top, like extreme top quality, good quality raisins. I want that. So I'm here for that." So he said, टॉप क्वालिटी मिलेगी, क्यों नहीं मिलेगी, आज़ाद कश्मीर की मिलेगी. एंड आई गॉट इनटू यू नो delusion.
So
आज़ाद कश्मीर क्या है, सही से वो
so
जो
where does this guy live?
There is this shop called Kisan Kesar.
No, where did that guy live in
the Indian half of
part,
Kashmir,
right?
in the Indian half. No, people cannot go.
So
to
there is
POK.
trade between POK.
Yeah, there is
and-
trade between. I don't know. Surprisingly, there is some trade between them. Yeah,
Whoa!
yeah, so they might be. You know, they need basic living, right?
So there is trade between.
Yeah. I don't
On-
think so. That's a formalized trade. I might call it smuggling.
I mean, how is
You're
he's
smuggling
selling
raisins.
it as
So he
Azad
said,
Kashmir ki?
yeah, he said Azad Kashmir. So I said Azad Kashmir. Explain me that. So he said, जो पाकिस्तान ने आज़ाद करा दिया. So I was like, सिड़ी गई. वहाँ जाके देख, मर रहे हैं वहाँ पे लोग. I just feel like okay. So Kashmiri people, okay. I'll just say that you guys.
So were all of the guys, all of the people were like that?
No,
or-
no,
I
no,
mean,
all of us.
were they hostile in general?
So a lot of people. So there was a lot of army movement because
Of course, like you would have known better if you had not been with a convoy.
Yeah.
If you had
So
gone.
I was always traveling. We were my
Yeah.
group of my
Of course.
family and another group of family. We were always traveling in a convoy. You know,
Yeah.
so we felt protected all the time. But to see a lot of military, right? And so we also did private cabs up there. You know, not with the convoy going against them. You know, ditching them, and because they were on a schedule, right?
I think if you had not been so did you talk to locals while you were with the military or?
Yeah.
So that's
So
that
once
can be one thing that
Yeah,
you
so-
might have been perceived differently.
Yeah, so one story, there is this story that I really wanted to share was that there was this one local, his name was Imran, and we were just talking, you know, he was handling a confectionery shop, you know, I was buying some Red Bull and
Yeah.
chips. So he said that so there was this PSO with me right behind me, so he said कि ये जनाब आपके साथ आए हैं मिलिट्री वाले जनाब. मैंने कहा yes, he's with me. So the military guy with me does not understand Dogri, that is the regional language of Kashmir. He's from central India, Madhya
Seems
Pradesh.
weird.
No, because
Why would you deploy?
yeah, you would deploy other people. I asked that because if you know, there is this Kashmiri prison, right? So a lot of prisoners speak Dogri, and if the officer over there guarding the prison knows Dogri, they'll somewhat communicate, and
Of
when they
course.
communicate, a dialogue happens, and when a dialogue happens, so possibility increases to plan a prison escape. So
What the
yeah,
fuck?
to not create a dialogue, there is always a person who does not understand what the inmates are saying.
What the fuck?
To create that barrier,
That sounds counterintuitive.
that's pretty amazing. I mean, I felt that that's a pretty genius move.
That's not genius. I mean-
even in Tihar jail, if you go, I've been to Tihar jail. No, that's not a visit I'm proud of. So I've seen Tihar from outside.
When?
Arey yaar, it is not.
You've been to the jail.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the convoys taking
from
session.
outside.
So, one
when
of
you
my
say
friends-
I've been to the jail, that sounds like you were a convict.
No, I'm not a convict, right? Nobody in my family belongs to a good family. We do not have a police record.
I've been to the jail.
I've seen it pretty upfront close. So that was because one of my family members is in the army and he was stationed there. So we got there to receive him.
No, but like I would think that if someone knows the regional language, he or she would be able to connect better with the locals.
That's what they don't want. I mean, they'll brainwash. I mean, so yeah, coming back to the story, right? So the story was when I was with Imran and I was buying confectionery. I mean, the story will clear the image for you. So Imran, so
You can take names, वहाँ सुनाई नहीं दे. Internet ही नहीं.
internet genuinely दिया बहुत दिक्कत आई. So no, they have Wi-Fi's at hotels. So so my guard left me, you know. So he went back to his convoy to take some briefings. So he said that, do you believe the military guy? आप उस जवान में भरोसा करते हैं? मैंने कहा पूरा भरोसा करते हैं, बिना मतलब आँख बंद करके भरोसा करते हैं. Said यहाँ कोई कश्मीर में नहीं करता. मैंने कहा क्यों? कहते किसी बच्चे को गोली मार देगा, किसी बच्चे को उठा के ले जाएगा, कहेगा ये टेररिस्ट है, वो टेररिस्ट नहीं होता। असली बात तुम्हें क्या पता? मैंने कहा कि कोई भी लाइक एनी आर्मी पर्सन विदाउट गुड अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन वुड नॉट टेक दैट स्टेप। यही बात हिंदी में मैंने से बोली because you know army needs all the right evidences first to prove it to their officials and then they take an action. This happens. I mean, I've seen army working there and they do take precautions. So even there was this checkpoint, right? So on checkpoints, normal cars having the number plates of J and K, they were being stopped. So people were, you know, they treated army as
evil.
I mean, not even as evil. I mean, if I just ask you, Paarug, show me your license, and I'm on a check post. So what will you do? Will you retaliate then and there, or will you just show me your license and I'll say just go? So
I mean,
that is
the
where
situation is kind of very complicated. You can't just say ki, okay, you're completely against the army.
Yeah.
Because it can't be. Why would some random shopkeeper be so against the Indian army? It has to come from his own experiences, right? If I have a bad encounter with the Delhi police, then I would tell you or talk to someone in future. I would say, no, don't mess with these guys. I mean, it's like we don't know the background. The situation is Kashmir is something we just can't relate to.
What I feel like personally after talking to locals there and after
so you felt like a clear. Was this everywhere?
No, this was not everywhere. I mean, so fun fact, we took a tour guide towards Chandanwadi. So there is this place where Amarnath Yatra starts. So we took a tour guide to Chandanwadi and Amarnath Yatra, of course, very pious to
not happening this year?
Not happening since past 2 years due to COVID. So he took us there to the initial steps where Amarnath Yatra begins, and so he was teaching us about Hindu religion, how it all started, who found the path to Amarnath, and how it all got made up. So to convince us that he is literally the guide that we wanted, he kept on saying Jai Bholenath to have our confidence.
What was his name?
His name was he was Muslim. His name was, I don't remember. Akhtar.
He was not Hindu.
He was not Hindu. He was Muslim. Yeah, he said he was wearing a cap. So it was pretty visible from his attire. He was
that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty beautiful. But yeah, it was beautiful. And then casually, my father asked him, "What's your stand between the two nations fighting over your piece of land?" So he said that we are always with India because India. If you look at the bigger picture, India is way more developed, way more opportunistic, way more. Having more platforms for us to conduct more trade than Pakistan. So, our always and always vote will be with India. But the politicians here, Mehbooba Mufti, he took names. Mehbooba Mufti and one other big shot politician, he took names. They keep on fighting each other. They know that they'll plant a fight and then they want to cause an unrest. I don't know why. Because of this unrest happening, they sell weapons.
Yeah.
They smuggle weapons. So they are living off by their unrest.
This is the look. Kashmiris are not the problem. Politicians are the problem.
Yeah, in
on both sides. This is not something like we are the good guys or they are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Politicians are the bad guys and they never suffer.
Kashmir,
the truth is that.
Kashmir is in governor's rule right now.
Yeah,
right? There is no
they never
chief
suffer.
minister.
These guys never suffer.
Chief minister, right? So public out there, first of all, Kashmir is craving tourism. They live off tourism, right?
They've always lived off tourism.
Yeah.
I mean, so they live off trade.
Yeah.
Either their local produce or tourism. What else is there to do?
I mean, Kashmir lacked in opportunities because, a lot of...
It still does.
Alright, so let me take it this way. The Kashmir which connects with Jammu.
Yeah.
A lot of people top IAS from there. A lot.
Because
it's in the records.
they have opportunities there. There's no war there.
There is direct... Kashmir which is connected to Jammu, right? Let's not say there is no war there. War is in entire Kashmir.
There, right?
War is in entire Kashmir.
But the unrest is less in Jammu.
I'm saying the Kashmiri part that just Okay, so there are IAS toppers in Srinagar, living in Srinagar.
Of course they are. I mean, there's some
Srinagar
IAS
has Lal
officer
Chowk.
from
Srinagar has Lal Chowk.
yeah. So I'm not saying
Yeah.
like
So opportunities are here on the Indian front more.
obviously there are more.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you expect from a
But
country
there are
like
still
Pakistan?
people with an orthodox mentality that
Orthopedic.
yeah, sorry, there was a slip of that orthodox mentality. That Pakistan is still their hope. I mean they choose religion in that case.
Yeah,
I've
of
seen
course.
people
I mean,
choosing
look.
religion, and that's pretty dumb.
it's
You do
like,
not choose religion over prosperity, do you? I mean,
religion is a very strong force. People in India choose religion over their prosperity. They would go out of their way to
If
cause harm to themselves for religion. It's a very strong force. You want to coerce someone. What's the best way? Take the name of God. It's true. I mean, you are religious.
I'm religious.
So it's hard
yeah.
for you. I'm not religious. But I see it happening and you see it happening all the time.
Yeah, so religion is both ways. I mean, in both the countries, Muslims are supported. Right? On the Indian front, they are supported well. On the Pakistani front, that is a Muslim nation.
The thing with Pakistan is, first of all, they're not truly independent
Yeah.
because they don't have the resources. So, Big Brother China is helping them out.
Yeah.
So, first thing is that. So, when you're not independent truly, you can't take decisions for the betterment. I mean, how many entrepreneurs are coming out of Pakistan? How many entrepreneurs are coming out of India? How many big businesses are coming out? How much technology? How many schools? How many universities?
Yeah.
It's a simple fact. I mean, I don't have an opinion on Pakistan,
Yeah.
but it's just unfortunate that they have to be under politicians who are so in. I mean, India is not a wonderland, but
It is slowly turning into one.
I
I'd say
mean,
that.
because of the economy, right? And again, politicians have very little in this. It's the individuals that are rising that have the opportunity.
Yeah.
So, but Pakistan I have sympathy for the common man on both sides because they have no fault in this. Their opinions are shaped out of their own experiences and then they only suffer. I mean, what politician has ever suffered because of this? Who died on the border? Either Pakistani soldiers or Indian soldiers. No politician ever died in the war.
If you look at Pakistan and their international, presence with the world and their presence in the United Nations, their presence in, I don't even think they're in G20, they're not in
The Prime Minister of Pakistan just said that Taliban are normal civilians. So what do you expect from from this party or from his policies?
No, so
what do you
nothing
expect
from you, Pakistan? We just expect harmony, at least.
I mean, it's like the people of both countries would gel very well. We see this all the time. NRIs from here and Pakistanis living outside, they're like friends in UK. Because we're the same people at the end of the day. We are from the same, we were one country for so long.
So there is this difference. The difference is the partition in 47 that happened. Alright, one nation got split into two, right? And one nation decided that we need to keep our ideology as Islamic, and the other decided that all are welcome.
Yeah.
Alright. This was one progressive move that India made in 47.
Yeah.
Constitution was formed in 50. Right? So this move. Now, one nation that chose their people, that gave a framework that you need to fit in to come in here.
The country was founded on religious basis in a modern world.
Yeah, and they still keep on hating India for, they're still hating the more progressed nation. Whereas the progressive nation, they forgot to hate, like India forgot to hate Pakistan.
It's not like we are the good guys. Always. It's not black and white. Look, I agree that Pakistan is nowhere near where India is. Might be in cricket. They might beat us in the finals. That's okay.
That was long back.
In 2017. They might beat us in the cricket finals or they might compete with us in hockey.
They have 23 athletes for Olympics.
So
we have
it's like we have 120 something.
Yeah, 124.
So it's not like yeah, they might compete with us in some aspects, in sports. Okay, that's fine. All right, the cricket team is okay. They don't know how to field, but chalo, maan lete hain. But we cannot compete with the businesses we have, or the opportunities we have, the colleges we have,
the podcast we are making.
Yeah, we're all live on YouTube.
Yeah,
talking about something. I'm not saying India is a wonderland. We have problems to fix, but it's much better as far as I can see, and it's not the fault of the common people. I mean, they got split because of the politicians' decisions. They have been attacked because of the politicians. It's not like, I mean, I know only stories. I've never been to Pakistan. But I know only stories. I mean, Shoaib Akhtar talks, he's very vocal on YouTube. So he talks about this. So he's, Rawalpindi Express is very vocal on YouTube. What do I say? So he talks about this. Like, he says, this is his words, that if an Indian goes to if an Indian goes to Karachi or Islamabad and they tell a vendor, a street vendor or something, a vegetable shop, that they're Indian, he said you would get special treatment for free. People love Indians coming, and there's a brotherhood. But you won't see that in the news. Politicians would hate seeing love between Indians and Pakistanis, because their shop would be shut down till the next day. What do politicians live on? War and controversy.
I mean, you just
otherwise, why the fuck do we give them votes?
Everything on politicians. I'm just thinking because, you know...
Yes, some people are douchebags, of course.
Some people are douchebags. I mean, okay, so Shoaib Akhtar said this, we'll believe that. Okay. But what's about Muslims and Hindus in Pakistan? I mean, their situation. That's not totally politically politically diverted towards them.
Of course it is.
I
mean, there's religion in that. Wherever is religion involved. I mean, we see this in India. Hindu-Muslim, there's only Hindu-Muslim been happening for the last so many years. I mean, there was the temple case. That's in India. That's religion, and it becomes political. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this could fix in a very short time, but it won't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do get you, but I'm still not convinced to the fact that 100% of the blame is to be put on politicians. I mean, people do have their brains. I mean, if we can discuss about which politician is good or bad, or what the offerings are good or bad, or the manifesto that they offer is good or bad, I mean, so does the common people.
No, because we live outside. We can see from outside, right?
When you had a choice in 47...
No, you can't change history. Look,
but
partition happened.
I'm just telling about from a common man's perspective. When you had a choice in 47, there was this one country sending out corpses, train full of
both
corpses.
Sides. It's not like there was both sides.
This was not both sides.
This was both sides.
My grandfather saw this on...
Yeah, all of we live in Delhi. Most of our grandparents came from Pakistan. My grandparents came from Pakistan.
Station. He saw that happening. I mean, he said that, there were trains filled up with...
Yeah, both sides.
Corpses. I just don't believe that it is both sides.
It was both sides. I mean, you can't deny the fact. There was killings on both sides.
The narrative that India pushed was all are welcome, and the narrative that they said was that only Muslims and no one else.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, then you cannot say it's both sides.
So
when all are welcome here, then why would we kill and send out corpses?
I mean, this is not my opinion. I'm stating a fact that there was killings in trains. Like, the whole train would be stopped. People would kill all the people inside the trains and then let it go on, right? This is what you're saying, right? This was on both sides. I mean, how many people died? Millions of people. So how can millions of people on one side die, right? On only Indian...
I just believe that Pakistan is a hate spreader country on a global scale. I mean...
Pakistan...
I just believe that. I mean, they are economically crunched.
Yeah, they
still have the audacity to, point out other nations. While
they're economically crunched. They harbor terrorists.
Exactly.
It's not... This is not my opinion. This is a fact. I mean, Osama was killed in whatever. That's in Pakistan. How do you deny that claim? No one asked Pakistan. This is the thing, right? no one, was there any accountability on the side of Pakistan or on who was, Nawaz Sharif was the Prime Minister at that time? Did someone ask him, like, why is he living on your land?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no accountability. Hafiz Saeed lives freely. Not freely, he lives in a hotel called jail. He has a political party in the fucking nation. So what do you say? But the thing is, there's no accountability. No one, the United States won't go up and say, who are you? Who, like, answer us. Like, this is a top terrorist on the list.
Yeah.
But he's living freely in your country, has a political party, is giving out interviews like he's fucking politician. So it's not undeniable, but we can't blame it on a street vendor or a office guy or a salesman. I mean, what do? They were born in the country.
All I'm just saying is that you just cannot put 100% blame on few people where a bunch of people decided, a big population decided, and then you say that, then that population says that, oh, we were convinced by these few guys, and then you just cannot blame them. I mean, you had your mind sorted out, right? I mean, you were listening to them, so you had a choice.
Look,
a rational man would never do that. A rational person would never do that.
We can say that because we live. Look, what I'm trying to say is we were born in a free country, in a prosperous city, the best city in India, according to me. I mean, I know Mumbai, Bangalore could take that claim, but I think this is the best city in Delhi, India. And we grew up free, like we went to private schools.
Yeah.
We've grown up, we've been influenced by the West. So we can see from a very far away vantage point. What are these guys doing? What are the intentions? What is the thinking? We can comment.
Yeah.
But those are our life experiences and what we see. And then we can comment, these guys should do this. And this should happen. And this is so easy. I mean, why are you guys fighting? You look like two bipedal chimps fighting with each other on this big planet. Nobody cares about your opinion. This is a small pixel in the whole scene.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? We can say that, but we're not in the situation.
I mean, the situation is debatable, but when you frame something, I mean, let's just assume that. So, can we expect a revolution in Pakistan? If you are saying that, normal people, you are ready to sympathize with them or give them the pity that they deserve or fair share of pity.
This is very interesting, right?
So can they revolutionize themselves?
I was listening to Yeonmi Park. We have spoken about her previously as well. When she came on Lex Fridman and Jordan Peterson. She's a North Korean defector. She was talking exactly about this. Like, she was saying that people in the West ask me, why is there no one, organizing a revolution against North Korea?
Yeah.
She was like, people don't know they're oppressed. She was like, you come from a point of view, you say something little happens to you, you say you're oppressed and you voice out your opinion. But she said, this is heartbreaking. She said, if you know you're oppressed, then you're not oppressed. She was like, the people in North Korea do not know any other alternative. So why would they organize a revolution? This is their reality as they know it. They do not know what freedom is. They do not know what the alternative is. Or they are being oppressed. This is the socialist paradise that they are being told it is. So when you grow up in Pakistan, I mean, there was Me Too movement in Pakistan. Out of all places, Me Too movement in Pakistan. So people go out from Pakistan, study abroad. So they of course see what's happening in the country. It's not at all, I don't think it's a pretty sight. So there is revolution, but when you grow up in a country, I mean, do you think they teach history like the way we've been taught history?
I don't think so.
I mean, do you think that?
They don't even recognize Kargil Vijay Divas.
Of course, all the wars they lost. Yeah. Why would they teach them that? Okay, this was a war. We lost. Like, what the fuck?
We were invaded till Lahore and we then surrendered with a white flag.
Which we started.
Yeah.
So they went down in the summer We took advantage. We went to their land and then we were chased off till our capital cities.
Yeah.
Or metropolitans. Why would you teach that? It's like, okay, we got our ass whooped. Let's study this. Let's get to the bottom of this. Why would you do that?
I mean, if
you're a government, if you want to, read.
They can teach this, but yeah.
No, you can't.
They can. I mean,
you're a
learn
government.
from us.
You're a government. Why would you teach that?
Because I've seen this happening, and
look, you
can
read books. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying in the curriculum. You're a government. Why would you do that? The problem with the education system
so I have this counter example for government to do that. Germany, yeah. So they not celebrate, but they
remember.
They remember Nazism. Right?
Yeah, of course.
They remember. They teach it to kids like this happened to us. There was this one bad guy.
We did this.
There was this bad guy, good guy. I don't know. You guys debate upon that.
There's no debate in that. Hitler was a bad guy. But pagal hai tu.
He was a very good leader, but a non-ethical person. A bad guy.
He was evil with charm.
Yeah. So coming on to the Hitler and the Third Reich and how the Nazism. So they have a museum for that. They teach kids.
Auschwitz is a site now.
How do we suffer the Holocaust and the East Germany versus the West Germany, the rise and fall of Berlin Wall?
Because I mean, if they do not teach that, the whole world would condemn that, right?
Similarly, ask Pakistan.
They lost a war. Look, the thing is, if North Korea, something happens, there's a war happen. The war happens between South and North. Of course, South will win, right? Because the US will support the South. Everybody except China would support the South, and they will win. Because at the end of the day, it's whole world against China and North Korea. The whole world would win.
Yeah.
So let's say there's something happens, some miracle happens, and North Korea is free. And now there are democratic people who want the prosperity of these guys who are starving for the last 80 years.
Yeah.
Of course, they would teach, like the first thing they would do is, remember, this should not happen again. This should not happen again. Because the whole world would be like, okay, we've had a war for this. Yeah. You better admit it. So this is, if there was no one, it's not like Germans were, next day they were like, fuck, we messed up. It's not like they were like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I cannot believe I did this. It was not like that. Have you seen the videos of the trials that happened after the World War? Like after the war ended.
War crimes trials, yeah.
I don't know what they were called. Some trials, like every judge from each of the countries, the United States, Great Britain, Italy, Japan, all of these countries who were involved, they sat down and they judged each and every person who was convicted in the Holocaust. This person did this person did this, and they were sent to jail, they were sent for, they were given punishments, and it was on an open trial, live telecasted. So that this never happens again. This is in live record. And Nazis flew from Germany, right?
Yeah.
The whole story that they went to South America. There's a South American town which is like full of Germans.
Yeah, I've heard that story.
Can you imagine a South American town full of Germans? And they're all sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters of Nazis. That would be a weird place to be in.
It's pretty hard to believe. But again, when we compare North Korea and Pakistan, people, you just said that Naomi Park said that people over there don't know what freedom is. They know their surroundings. When you look at Pakistan, so they're the first one to rage a comment war on the internet. They're the first one to put out comments on the internet to belittle any nation in the world. So they're the first ones to do that.
Again,
if they have this power.
Again, the Prime Minister said, Taliban are normal civilians. What do you expect?
I do expect a revolution from Pakistan anytime soon.
Because the people don't know
their situation.
Imran Khan was an ex-cricketer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the most revered people in cricket. People who follow cricket know that he changed the game forever.
Yeah.
Like, he genuinely changed fast bowling as it is. You know what I mean? Like, he brought in reverse swing in cricket. Like, cricket would not have been the same if it was not for that guy. And he led Pakistan to the World Cup.
Yeah.
So he's a leader. You know, the best that you can get in Pakistan. He won the he got elected as Prime Minister with the help of the army. It's a fact.
The emotion of
It's a
Naya
fact.
Pakistan.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
The army, if the army didn't have a hand behind his back, he would not have been Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So when you take the help of the army to become the leader of the country, you're not a free leader. You have to work with the dictates of what the army tells you. Otherwise, there will be something called a military coup, which we've read in political studies.
Yeah.
It would happen. He knows that. We know that. The whole world knows that, but nobody says anything.
And that's pretty fucked up.
I mean, when he speaks in front of the camera, we know there's someone behind him
Telling him what
who's
to
like,
speak.
speak up, motherfucker. What do you want to say? We know that. I mean, why?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, nobody talks about it, and nobody will talk about
Yeah,
it.
we spoke about Alexei Navalny in Russia. What happened to him? He's in jail right now.
Yeah.
What happened to the movement? There was a movement in Russia. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
A movement for freedom, for democracy in Russia. So if that can happen, but nothing comes out of that. The UN knows that, but they don't do anything because the Russia has veto power out of all. China, same thing. Yeonmi Park said that if China didn't support North Korea, Kim Jong-un and his government would fail in a week. That's what she said. Like, North Korea cannot go on for a week.
How Chinese are actually influencing North Koreans? I mean, I don't know much about it.
A fucking unbelievable fact that she said today, I heard this for the first time. Apparently, the only thing that North Korea earns from is military weapons and drugs. So, North Korea is apparently the biggest provider of weapons in the Middle East.
Wow, do they know how to manufacture weapons?
Of course. They have nuclear weapons.
I mean, yeah, they do, but that's not, very highly effective or efficient nuclear weapons.
No, they are. Because guess what? They make their trials on humans. Because their whole population is a lab test.
Yeah.
So, there's no one stop them. You need an experiment we do on animals. Because doing it on humans
rabbits.
it's of course wrong. They can do it on humans, like free reign. Why not? So North Korea is the biggest provider of weapons in the Middle East and the biggest and a big exporter of opium and like other drugs, apparently. And China has their backhand. China doesn't want she said that China doesn't want democracy to come to North Korea because it's very close to China. Mm-hmm. So Hong Kong is already democratic, Taiwan is already democratic. Tibet is something China wants a hold on. So if North Korea also becomes that, it would lose its stronghold over these regions. If North Korea tomorrow became democratic, it would lose its control over Tibet.
Why? I mean, they're geographically so far away.
North Korea and China? Tibet and China are same.
Tibet and North Korea.
Yeah, no, but because people would hear about it and the news will come that, okay, another region near China is democratic. And then China doesn't want that. China wants a hold on Hong Kong, they want a hold on Taiwan, they want a hold on Tibet, they want a hold on North Korea.
They also want a hold on Pakistan.
They have.
They have their hold on Pakistan.
They have super highways.
Yeah.
The plane will land on a highway one day.
If you look at China, they are so much heavily investing in Africa. Yeah, I was coming to that. I mean, they're investing, they're pouring in money for African colonies, for African roadways to enhance, for African, extraction business. That Africa has a lot of diamonds, they have a lot of mines. So they're I mean, what does China want? I mean, they want world dominance.
China is the Jeff Bezos of countries. They want the world, nothing else, nothing less. And America is getting weaker by the day. What do we do?
They're fighting over TikToks. They're fighting for they have anti-vax rallies. So I mean that's pretty shame on
America is going down the drain, man. Yeonmi Park said she faced the same kind of oppression in Columbia University as she faced in North Korea. What do you say to that? This is America. What do you say?
America is just too liberal, I believe.
No. It's virtue signaling that happens around us as well. In Delhi. In India as well. We see it all the time. People want to take a stance so that they are viewed as the good guys, right? Yeah. This happens all the time. You take a position just to let others know that you are on the good side. You are okay, you do this, you're one of us. This happens all the time.
So this forms a community amongst people.
No, it's a blinded vision and collective action, which and then the whole society goes to whack. We see this all the time.
Yeah. To make this happen, you do not have moderation to that. I mean, you do not have someone looking after you to make this happen. I mean, and with that, I believe that America, that it is struggling right now with their own identity. I mean, Americans are fighting Americans.
Of course.
I mean, they're struggling with their own identity. They've introduced so many new concepts to the world. I mean, they're still themselves as Americans confused. Like, what do they want? I mean,
people in America are ashamed to have their own flag behind them.
Yeah.
So that's seen as something conservative, like on the right. So
no, I mean, people in America are patriotic.
People in America are. I mean, most of the Americans we follow, both of us, are very patriotic.
Yeah.
Because we look up to guys like that, America from the UFC or from the army, and they are the guys like we follow. Yeah. But there are other people who are very, very much on the left, and in these universities, Jordan Peterson has been on the receiving end for so many years now. So he talks about it all the time. You can't say anything because people will view you as evil. They want free speech, but only till the point that you are on their side. That's free speech. Advocate for free speech, freedom, till the time you are
on their side.
On our side. That's what it is.
It's pretty shameful.
This is what it is. I mean, on both sides. And now America, India, we see this as well. Very similar. You can't have a dialogue at this point. I can't have a dialogue with my uncle. They can't be. Someone will get up.
Too liberal?
No. He's on the other side.
Is he very conservative?
Yeah. You can't do that. Ricky Gervais said that people give ideas human rights, so you leave them alone. Right?
Yeah.
We do that.
So, when you talk about two opposing narratives, one not being with the country and one being with the country and being open towards the country and being all nationalist and patriotic. So, do you believe that a revolution that most our neighbors need, a revolution that Tibet needs, a revolution that Bhutan needs, Hong Kong needs, a revolution that Chinese Taipei needs. So this will come with the conservative philosophy, I believe.
I think this will come with...
history is the witness that all the revolutions that ever came, whether it was Russia, whether it was French, whether it was... it was always the people who valued country more.
No, I don't think so. Fascism was country always. So Third Reich, Germans are the superior race. So that was a very far right oppressive thing, right? Then China is the opposite. China is the socialist paradise. Communists, both are wrong. We see examples of both going to back. So this is... North Korea says they are a socialist paradise to their own people. What do you say? They are a socialist paradise.
Where you can choose between 18 haircuts.
Where grasshoppers are the biggest source of protein.
North Korea for you.
What the fuck? I had to stop my car for a second. I was like, what is this girl saying? Grasshopper is the biggest source of protein in North Korea for the people.
They do have artificial meat, right?
They have nothing. People are left to forage on their own. Nothing. No trade, no land, nothing.
So how do they like, I've seen travel bloggers traveling to North Korea.
But they only go to Pyongyang, yeah.
Yeah, they only go to Pyongyang.
They're not allowed to film outside of a certain area. They're not allowed to go outside of a certain area.
So I just saw that, you know, one of the film bloggers, YouTube bloggers, was in Pyongyang and he was staying in one of the hotels. So there was this poster of Kim Jong-un that he liked very much and he wanted to take it as a souvenir. So he took off that poster. It was, I guess the poster was in a washroom or in the similar kind of vicinity. So he took off that poster and he rolled it and then he kept it in his bag. And there was this another travel blogger in that same travel group, because North Korea has guided tours.
Of course.
You need to be with a guide always and you need to go to places that they show you. It's pretty much, they tell you a movie that has already been directed. Yeah. So it's that way. So there was this another travel blogger. So there were a bunch of travel bloggers in that very group. So another travel blogger, he got to know that, you know, he stole a poster from there and he was silent about it. So the next day, they look up to CCTVs that who took the poster of her master. And of course, a sort of a mini unrest happened in the
within the
hotel.
Within the circle.
Within the
Who
hotel.
the fuck?
Who the fuck dared to keep a photo of Kim Jong-un themselves?
NFT ले गया हमारी.
Yeah. So they looked at surveillance cameras and then they found out the person, the YouTube blogger, and then he was prisoned.
Is he alive?
No, he was prisoned to 20 years.
Yeah, there was this American boy also, right? Who returned, who they sent back to America after 14-15 years. He was already brain dead by the time he reached.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest... She was saying rape is not a crime.
What?
Rape is just a normal thing. The biggest crime that you can do is not have a photo of Kim Jong-un in your house. That would get you executed. But rape is not a crime.
I mean, can't females report a rape?
Who do you report to? The police?
Yeah. The police are the culprits.
What? Where do you go to? It's a circle.
Oh man, that's so fucked up.
I mean,
listening this is a different thing, and then you experience all this.
So we don't have... I mean, I was thinking about this going to my class. I was listening to on my way to class this morning.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this as I can listen to it all day, but I can never internalize this.
Yeah.
I will never be able to internalize this in a way that I feel what it was like.
Yeah, I mean...
Because I'm driving in an AC car, going to a class on my own free will.
So there is this another travel blogger, his name is Drew Binsky, and he's traveled all countries in the world. So he was talking about North Korea in one of his, documentaries. So he said that I was clicking pictures of, kids playing football around me, and it was allowed. I was with the tour guide and he's back in America, he's safe. So he was saying, big thumbs up to Drew Binsky. So he said that I was clicking pictures of, kids around me, females and men, there was this wedding going on. So I clicked there.
Because that's what they show you, right?
Yeah, so there was this wedding going on. So I recorded them recorded it for them, their wedding. So it was like that. So he said that he asked one of the, localites there, and he asked that, so in the guided tour, there was a movie as well in a cinema hall. It is a part of their itinerary.
Propaganda movie.
Propaganda
kind of
movie.
Right?
How good North Korea is, what good they do.
There's some on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
There's a North Korean YouTube channel.
Wow. Just don't get banned or cancelled.
No, North Korean government YouTube channel.
Oh.
Shelling out propaganda. Look how good we are.
So there was this movie. So he asked a local that apart from that movie, what do you guys see? So that guy said that, movies are smuggled here. So first of all, he refused to come on camera. Because, he'll get executed. So there was this audio only. So he said that we do get to see Hollywood films, but people over here reject those films
Yeah.
because they believe it is too good to be true, or they just don't believe that all of this happens. So in North Korea, the population that owns a car, a four-wheeler to their names, is I guess 2% or 3% of the people.
It's within Pyongyang.
Yeah.
It's the 10% of the people, of the whole population.
Of the whole population that afford a four-wheeler
Yeah.
vehicle. And they said that in Hollywood movies, people are driving freely, they are talking to each other, they are happy.
So that's why they don't want to show that.
Yeah, and I mean that's so sad about North Korea. That
The structure is made in a way, she explained that the 90% of the population is kept starving with a reason. They're kept starving with purpose, that all they think about is the next meal. So when you only think about the next meal, you don't think about other things. Movies, songs, freedom, revolution.
wow.
So the 10%, it's like the Hunger Games, the movie, this book, Hunger Games. It's the same structure. The 10% in Pyongyang are prosperous, the government officials,
The nobleman,
Kim Jong-un,
clergyman, yeah.
they're good. China feeds them, they're good. Rest, the 90% population is left on their own to do whatever they can to be alive. The 90% population is in a state of perpetual starvation on purpose, so that they don't think about anything
So
else.
if they don't have tourism, they don't have natural resources, they don't have any bilateral trade with any country or any unilateral trade.
China is the answer to the question
I
you're
mean,
looking for.
I mean, no, China cannot feed off an entire nation. They must be doing something. Like
They don't need to feed off the entire nation. That's the point. They only need to feed off Kim Jong-un and his family and whatever people he chooses to feed. Otherwise, the rest, they don't need to feed them at all.
Also, with feeding and with Kim Jong-un mind, a picture clicked in my mind. So there was this another part
And
of the
he's a fat
documentary.
guy.
I was coming to that. So in North Korea, there is a crime if you have your waist above 32. That's a crime.
What?
It's a crime to have a waist above 32
How
or 34.
can you have a waist? So North Korean average height is 4'10".
It's a crime. Still, it's a crime that you should not have a waist more than 32 or 34.
Because
Either of the two.
my guess is because if your waist is over 32, you did something wrong. How did you get the food?
Yeah, exactly. And Kim Jong-un
Is a fat
is an
guy.
obese person.
Yeah, he's obese.
And it is also in a North Korean scenario, if you go and if you ask normal people, so it is stated in their constitution that Kim Jong-un can control the weather with his mood.
They're shown as God, right?
Yeah.
They have the whole Bible story that Kim Jong-sil, whatever the grandfather's name was, he gave the world his son Kim Jong-il for the good. So they are gods. Kim Jong-un is a god. He's the grandson of God, Jesus. He's the grandson of North Korean Jesus. So that's the whole narrative. And that's how they live off. The 90% population is starving. No food at all. Nothing. No killing of animals because animals are government's properties. You'll get executed.
What?
Yeah, you cannot kill an animal. You cannot kill anything. You cannot pet an animal. You cannot do anything. Oh my God. They took out... So people used to pet dogs like normal human beings. Like we do. We domesticate dogs.
Yeah.
People used to do that in North Korea.
So they took dogs for meat.
Yeah,
right?
No. They went into each and every house of the whole country and took out dogs that were domesticated and just steal them from them. Because people were showing love to the dogs as well. And that is something Western. And that is taking away love from the leader. You're only supposed to respect, love and care about the leader.
इंसान क्या सोचेगा?
This is unbelievable. I mean, we can't even think about something like this.
Yeah, so if a little, like if somebody born in North Korea and then they see this happening from childhood, perpetual starvation,
So they
loving
don't
the
know.
leader,
They don't
going
know.
to the god, treating them like a god. I mean, yeah, then you are a bunch of lucky fucks. You know that?
Yeah, I mean that's what I keep. I mean, I keep retweeting and keep posting a story whenever Yeonmi makes an appearance that she has changed the way I look at life in general. Like, what a worldview to have. I mean, she lives in America now. I can't even think of what she thinks about these people complaining, especially in America.
Yeah.
She was like,
My burger has some extra cheese.
yeah, she was like, I don't understand. She was like, I don't understand people who get fat. It's like, she was like, it's so easy to stop eating. Like, just don't eat. It's your choice, right? She was like, I've been hungry throughout my 15 years of life, 16, 17. I was 21. She says she was 21 when she came to South Korea or to America. She was 17 when she came to South Korea.
Yeah.
She was like, I have been starved all my life before that. The first time I was full, like I've never been full after a meal.
Wow.
So she was like, I can't understand, and of course she can't understand obesity and people getting fat by eating too much.
Yeah.
When you have grasshopper is a delicacy. What the fuck?
That's pretty weird.
What the fuck?
They do have some meat. I mean, I saw in one of the travel bloggers' video.
There's cannibalism as well.
What?
Of course, you don't have anything to eat. What do you do?
Cannibalism. So, who do they eat humans that have already died out of old people or?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you had nothing to eat. What do you do? Cannibalism was in the Soviet Union as well when the war happened. When Stalin basically let all the general population go in front of war and basically massacred all of them.
They got killed by the Germans.
Yeah, there was cannibalism in that as well. I mean, you don't have anything to eat, like nothing. It's not like food wasn't made today or there was no electricity. There was 24/7 was closed. You don't have anything to eat at all.
रात को गेड़ी भी चलती है 24/7 से खाना उठाएंगे. This feels like such big luxuries now. I mean, you listen to.
It's an alien world. I can't even I am saying these things, but I can't even think about what it's like.
So the travel blogger in the YouTube videos used to always say that North Korea is cheap. You can have a couple of beers there under $10. You can have a full meal there and under $10.
But you cannot take off a poster.
Yeah, or you'll get sentenced for 20 years. That's a half lifespan.
Yeah. So apparently there's labor camps, concentration camps, other different categories of camps. So life expectancy in a concentration camp is 3 months after you've been there. Because they make you pick up nuclear waste.
Yeah.
They test their missiles and nuclear weapons, and then these humans are sent to pick up the waste, clean the thing up, clean the whole site up. So they die from radiation, of course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't even imagine the sheer world they're living in. Right now, in the 21st century, no one does anything about it. No one. There's no way to escape this. Kim Jong-un will die, someone will come up. I mean, he's going to die very soon.
Yeah.
He's been sick.
He's been sick all along. He had some heart surgery as well.
Yeah, he's been sick for very long. So he's gonna die and he's what, like 30 something?
Yeah. He himself is 35.
Motherfucker is dying of
What's his age?
obesity. The guy is dying of obesity and heart problems due to being obese.
Age. And we go.
He's 30 something.
He's 37.
He's 37 years old having heart problems and is about to die. 37 years old. That's the peak of a human.
In comparison, Donald Trump is 75 years old.
Yeah.
That's how big of a difference is. Donald Trump is 75 years old and Kim Jong-un.
I mean, that guy, how has he lived that long? I have no idea. Because he apparently has 10 cokes a day, something like that.
I don't know about that, but again, I'm just putting into comparison because Donald Trump is as good as famous as Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, the guy is 37 and he's dying of obesity.
Supreme
while
leader of
90%
North
of his whole population is dying of starvation.
So he does have a kid.
Yeah, he's very young. The boy he has is apparently very young. So this is what will happen. If Kim Jong-un dies tomorrow, there's no leader to lead North Korea ahead. So that will be a big problem for China. Because Kim Jong-un is God. You know what I mean? Like God.
Yeah.
So his son only can take his place. A general commander can't take the place of God, right?
Yeah.
So that is the problem that will arise once he dies. I hope he dies today. I mean, I have no sympathy for the human life of this guy.
Same here. I mean, I really want.
Like, I really hope.
He's 8 years old. Kim Jong-un's son. He's 8
Yeah,
years
so
old.
that's the problem. Like, some command, because we thought that there was these rumors like his sister would take over. And everybody was celebrating for some reason.
Yeah, his sister is a liberal.
No way. She's more dangerous apparently.
Yeah. I
So
saw
the
those
thing is
reports.
that Yeonmi Park said that there is no way in fucking hell or heaven that they would give the command to a woman. It is what it is. The reality is they won't give it to a woman because women are seen as inferior. This is what she said. I mean, in a country where rape is legal or not a crime, a woman cannot lead that country.
If it's legal, you'll not call it a rape then.
Yeah, it's a normal thing. She was like, it's a normal thing.
Yeah. That's pretty sad.
Nobody feels like something wrong happened. This is what they live in. So she's not an option. So some commander, some right hand or left hand or someone will take over until the boy
becomes
grows up.
18 or 10, 15.
And the boy will probably go to Switzerland for education.
Why?
Kim Jong-un is educated from Switzerland.
Wow.
In the heart of democracy.
I mean, Swiss people are so free and happy. Have you looked?
The heart of democracy. Switzerland, Geneva.
UN has their office there. IOC has their office there.
That's why she says that Kim Jong-un is pure evil. Because the grandfather was in war. So he really thought that this can be a socialist paradise. His son saw his father. He thought this is a socialist paradise. We can give that to him. This guy has been educated from Switzerland. Switzerland is democracy at its peak. You cannot get more democratic than Switzerland. Everybody is happy, everybody is rich, nobody complains, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. The jail looks like JW Marriott.
Yeah, I've seen those jails.
So this guy studied there and then he knows.
He's evil.
Then he's pure evil. So his son will probably go out as well.
So even, some random history that popped up when I searched for it. So it is said that one child of Kim Jong-un, that is Kim Ju-I, he's acknowledged by the people and he's 8 years old. But it is alleged that he has 3 children.
I am sure he has a lot of children. There are pleasure squads for each and every politician.
There are pleasure
squads.
Squads.
Yeah, pleasure squads. They take women from the streets, random, and they sell them to politicians. Each and every politician has his own pleasure squad.
What the fuck is wrong with North Korea? That is so bad.
These are humanity at its worst. I mean, you cannot go beyond this. I could say Hitler was worse, but I don't know really. I really don't know if Hitler was worse. I really think this guy is worse.
This guy is definitely...
Because he's from Switzerland. That's the main point. That he, not from Switzerland, but he studied
he belonged from the heart.
Major part of his life in Switzerland. So he knows what life is like. And he still... The video that came out of COVID, right? When he was crying, apologizing to the whole country, the whole army was crying. Very patriotic, everyone is crying. So apparently the people who didn't cry hard enough were executed.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, this whole story that we are doing about right now on North Korea,
it just gets
worse
and weirder and worse and worse. The people who didn't cry hard enough were executed.
How do you bring emotions from someone?
No. And the interesting part is, so there's family guilt involved. So if you commit a crime, you go to jail, your whole family, far away cousins, uncles, sons of sons of sons of sons will go to jail.
Because they belong.
Yeah, because they are your relative.
Do they even have this much of housing available in there?
So if you didn't cry hard enough in that rally, you'll be executed and your whole fucking family clan will go to jail.
Wow.
So that is why they are crying. Their
They need
eyes,
to cry.
they're crying their balls out. They need to. Because they'll end their life and their whole family's life. There's family guilt involved.
I mean, man, this is getting
Weirder by the minute. It's
right.
It's unbelievable.
As we discussed, North Korea. I mean, I used to hear a lot of stories about North Korea, Tanashai. I mean, yeah, dictatorship is there.
6 kinds of hairstyle.
618, 6. I've seen a lot in books. But the reality now that Naomi Parks is actually telling us,
You get executed for wearing jeans.
yeah, I've heard this one for jeans, for not obeying. They have like some selected outfits that you can wear from.
Yeah, you get executed for wearing jeans, for a different hairstyle, for the way you dance.
Yeah. They do have their own dance, and
If you dance any other way, you are executed.
so they need their shit to be perfect.
Wow, 100%.
Yeah.
Nothing else but perfection.
I mean, if you look at all of the available photos of Kim Jong-un, I mean, he's playing with
Happy
children.
fat fuck.
He's always
I mean,
playing
he's a
with
fuck.
children.
He's a fuck.
He's a fuck. I mean, he's sitting with his wife, happy. I mean, these are the photos that they let out.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they didn't allow Google Maps to enter.
Yeah. I mean,
It's unbelievable. The thing is happening right as we speak. The most mind fucking part is, if something wrong happens in India, it's a worldwide news very quickly. If some politician does something wrong,
yeah.
it's a worldwide news very, very quickly.
Yeah.
If Narendra Modi tomorrow turned rogue and went on a heel and said, "This is it, I am the leader," that can't happen because the internet won't allow it, because we're all so connected.
Nobody would allow it.
We're all so connected, and that's what I thought, before I have been exposed to the North Korea thing, that at this day and age, with internet, with information, something can not happen, something like the Holocaust.
Yeah.
But this is Holocaust right in front of our eyes. Even China killing Uyghurs is a worldwide news.
Yeah. They couldn't keep it that.
They couldn't keep it. There's satellite imaging.
Yeah.
So they couldn't keep it a secret. There are journalists going in there, risking their lives, of course. But we get to see the news, what's happening. At least a faint idea of it.
Yeah.
We just have no idea, except for some defectors' words.
Yeah. I mean, Dennis Rodman has met Kim Jong-un and...
Shane Smith, the founder of Vice,
Yeah.
has been to North Korea twice. The Hermit Kingdom is a very famous documentary on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a 45 minute documentary. He's the guy. I mean, he was being shown a park
Yeah.
where the grandfather used to study in or live in or something like that. And there was this pool, this barrel of water filled with water. And apparently he used to drink from that, the grandfather. And Shane Smith picks up the spoon from which he used to drink, pours water, drinks from it directly, touching his mouth. And he was like, well, and then as soon as he keeps the thing down, he's like, was I not supposed to do that? The camera, he's like, keeps walking, has no fear for his life at all.
Is this on camera?
Yeah, he fucking drank from the thing with no fear at all, out of complete
Kim was
ignorance.
there watching.
He was with a convoy. And he interviewed one of the soldiers. He was going through a museum.
Yeah.
Interviewed one of young North Korean soldiers.
Yeah.
Kept asking him difficult questions. Didn't hold back at all.
No, so do North Koreans understand English?
I mean, the army, the people who would meet Shane Smith, the founder of Vice, would know English, right?
Yeah.
So they choose. If you're above 4'10", you have to go to the military. Apparently.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with North Korea? I mean, if I'm above 4'10", I mean, that's like what? 40% of Delhi right now.
4'10", everyone is above
Everybody's
4.
above 4.
I mean,
if you're shorter than 4'10", I might
you
say
are an
that-
exception.
I might say that you need to watch this podcast with your parents.
Nah,
You need to be this tall to buy a
How
ticket.
many, how many people are below 4'10"? Not many in Delhi, at least.
Not many. I mean,
So the average height is not 4'10" in North Korea because the whole fucking nation is malnourished to their bones. So the average height is very less. So if you're above 4'10", you're qualified for the military. Not qualified, forced for the military. 14 years minimum service. For women, it's 10 years.
14 years. I mean, does the military have the right nutrition? Or again, they're feeding
course,
off
of
grasshoppers? Or
No, of course.
China
they-
would be feeding their military.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
Their military wouldn't stand one day if there was an attack.
yeah.
They have nuclear weapons, but you can't do that. You can't fight with these guys because they will bomb a nuclear weapon and the whole world will go.
Nuts. I mean, whatever the treaty you might have signed with the international committee, they don't have any treaty. I mean,
He just asked for precondition. He asked USA and South Korea to waive off the economic sanctions that they have been, given to them
yeah.
as a precondition to continue dialogues. Today's news. I saw this in the news today.
Wow.
This is chutzpah.
That's ludicrous, man. I mean, if you want to talk to us, you just
You help us if you want to talk to us. You need help, motherfucker. You need help. The United States doesn't give a fuck.
I mean, if North Korea is so isolated within themselves, I mean, then they'll finish one day.
China. Everything is. God
China.
made everything and everything was made in China.
God made this earth and the rest everything was made in
China. Same
like
thing.
that.
North Korea wouldn't survive a week if it was not for China.
I really want to see what happens if Kim Jong dies. I really want to see the people getting more democratic. I mean, better.
There's no hope. There's no hope, really.
There is hope if he dies tomorrow. Like, not tomorrow, but if he dies.
There's nothing. People don't know the alternative. South Korea is portrayed as the people are suffering and they want to come to North Korea. America are cold-blooded, evil people. The rest of the world is not known.
I mean, South Korea has progressed so much.
South Korea, if you want to get educated,
Yeah.
go to South Korea.
I mean, they have so much good education.
So, Yeonmi Park was like, I was standing on Washington Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge in Washington DC.
Yeah.
And she was like, a guy came up and hugged me. And I was like, my natural instinct was like, and the guy was like, oh, don't worry, baby, I'm gay. She was like, what is gay? What is gay? And to react the way she's supposed to react, she had to Google, what is gay? ? And then she realized, okay, the intention is not evil. He's gay means what gay means.
Yeah.
She did not have an idea. She was like, what is gay? So, it's a whole another reality. We can't even, we just cannot internalize it. And there's nothing that can be done about it.
I mean, these dwarfs running a country below 4'10", the average.
The guy's fat, man. 90% of his population is starving. I
He
just
has
cannot
a
go
double
beyond
chin,
that. He has a
man.
he's dying at 37.
That's when you know.
That's when you know that you've eaten too much.
Yeah.
And you've had too much alcohol.
I mean,
He has an alcohol problem, right?
Kim Jong-un looks like Winnie the Pooh.
He has an alcohol problem, right? Drinks too much, I think. What I
He
heard-
might be
read
having an
somewhere.
alcohol problem. I mean, no saying no to the booze. For
No hold
a
bars.
supreme leader, no saying no to the booze.
Why? Why? Who would stop?
Get me food, get me booze, fuck the population.
Have
You
a
wanna
pleasure squad.
You want to continue a dialogue? Okay. Weave off my loans.
And apparently now no one can cross North Korea as well. Like Yeonmi Park escaped to China. She was sold off in China.
No, I mean, how did Naomi Park
Yeonmi.
manage? Yeonmi.
Yeah.
How did she manage to come out of North Korea?
She crossed a frozen lake in the middle of the night. And then she went to South Korea. Into China. She met a lady there. Her sister went away first.
Yeah.
And then she and her mom crossed the frozen lake, went to China where the lights are basically. She didn't know what China was. She was 13 or something at the time.
Yeah.
She just knew where the lights are coming from.
Yeah.
She was at a, neighboring the border. She was in a place neighboring the border. There's no light in North Korea. There's no electricity in North Korea.
There will be some electricity.
There's no electricity. Have you seen the photo? Search North Korea at night.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Search North Korea at night. There will be a satellite image showing South Korea, China, and in between North Korea. Look at this. Look at this.
What the fuck? They don't have electricity.
There's darkness in the night. There's light in South Korea, light in China. Dark. North Korea is dark. They are living before Edison. And there's this one light, this is Pyongyang. One small blip of light.
This is fucked up, man.
So
This
they
is so
don't have light. So she was like, I just went to where the light was. So they crossed the river and she was sold off. She and her mother were sold off as sex slaves. And that's how she entered China. And then this is the whole story. I mean, how she crossed the Gobi Desert to Mongolia, and from Mongolia she got to South Korea.
Wow.
So, and now where she crossed, North Korea has installed landmines there. So if you try to cross, you will blow the fuck up. So there's no crossing now.
What a nice delay.
On the land. On the border, there are landmines now.
So they do have money for wars, but can't feed the hungry and starving.
On purpose. On purpose. They don't know. They don't want to, because then people will think of other things. All they should think of is the next meal and the supreme leaders.
I mean, Naomi Parks is one lucky human on this earth. She is one lucky human.
The unluckiest human to be lucky. She was born in North Korea.
Yeah, now she's in America. I mean, the
Yeah.
contrast.
She's in America. She went to Italy a few days ago. She's living the life now, but I don't think she is the only person who can truly
Enjoy
feel
life.
the privilege that she's getting.
Yeah.
We got this handed to us.
To be Naomi Parks for one day and enjoying life, then you'll understand what life is. For us boys in New Delhi to go out at night, it's super easy.
It's just normal life.
I'm 20, right? And then there is a counter human. She's a female, 20. Asking for permissions to go out at night, asking for all the their parents have been 12 baje ghar aa jana for all the time permission and all. So even if that female is allowed to go out and party, she'll enjoy more than me.
Of course.
And
We just don't have the viewpoint.
that is.
And this is the same. This goes on forever. Like an American guy
goes to North Korea.
No. If an American guy is going out at night or enjoying life, we would look at him like guys from New Delhi and look at him look at this guy, and he doesn't even value what he has. He has so much freedom.
Yeah.
But it's the same. But to a North Korean defector, everything we do is something of a house is privilege.
Yeah.
A meal is privilege. I mean, she was like, I went to South Korea and I wanted to see how many eggs can a person eat, because I've never been full. Like, I've only eaten egg once
In a life.
Yeah, so I've never been full, so I wanted to see. So I realized that only 4 to 5 eggs can do. So to have that point of view towards the world.
I mean, Naomi Park should be kept safe at all costs.
She's on the kill list, of course,
of North Korea.
of Kim Jong-un's personal kill list. She was told in South Korea that you are on the kill list. The military told her, South Korean.
So I mean, how can... No, there's no way she could be executed. I mean, you're not allowed to step out of North Korea, and if you step out, even the assassins would think, I mean, where the fuck I'm living?
I mean, she's safe in America, that's the point. She's safe in the United States, but she's not safe in, say, Singapore. Kim Jong-un killed his half-brother in Singapore, on Singapore airport, poisoned him.
Yeah.
On international land. Nobody did anything about it. Jamal Khashoggi was killed.
Yeah, killed. Yeah, that's pretty sad.
So she cannot go to South Asian countries. I really wish she doesn't. Nobody can touch her in America, that's for sure.
I mean, is the American government doing something for her? Some special protection, or is it just...
I mean, no North Korean can just walk in America, right?
Yeah.
So there's security, there's safety.
So has she changed her nationality?
I'm sure she has applied for a green. She was given passport when she came to South Korea. So at this point, if she's not American, I'm sure she's South Korean.
Yeah.
And they have to institutionalize defectors who come from North Korea, South Korean government. So they have to tell them this is a bus, this is an elevator.
Oh fuck.
This is how you travel.
Oh
This
shit.
is how you sit.
I mean, South Korean government is open to this.
South Korean government first does absolutely everything to check if the person is an actual defector and not a spy. Once that is clear, they welcome. And they then teach them before letting them into the society that this is a train, this is an elevator, this is what this is what that is.
Oh my god.
So,
big thumbs up to South Korea.
I mean, they're doing this at least.
Yeah.
So, and then they can go out in the world and then they have to, learn. She learned the whole primary to high school level education in 1 year. And then she applied for South Korean university. She got into a South Korean university.
I mean, education back in North Korea.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just propaganda. She said that I was 17 at the time, but my education was at 7. I did not know what Australia is, what an apple is, what Africa is, what a country is, what freedom is. They don't have the vocabulary, what love is. They don't have a word for love.
In North Korea.
No word for love, no
So
word for
what do they do to their leader, to their supreme leader when the dogs were taken?
respect, and just you're supposed to do that. There's no word for romantic love, or she said that my mother never told me that she loved me because we didn't have a word for it.
Wow. It gets weirder every minute.
Sadder every minute.
Very sad. I mean, if you look at the picture North Korea at night and there is this one blip on Pyongyang, it is just so sad.
This is right. I mean, what do you say to this?
They don't have they have electricity, but they don't use lights.
Yeah, no. There's no electricity in the region. Nothing. When it's dark, it's dark. Pre-Edison.
So they don't even have electricity.
No, there's no X-ray machines in hospitals. There's nothing. No equipment, no technology, nothing at all. Nothing.
I mean, a North Korean doctor would be so underqualified with a normal
People don't die of cancer. They die of
starvation.
They die of starvation, and the biggest cause of death is reusing needles.
Wow, so they don't know AIDS exists?
I don't think so.
Whoa.
I mean, the biggest cause of death is starvation and reusing of needles, because they don't have You need an X-ray. They don't have an X-ray because there's no electricity only. There's no CT scans, no MRIs.
Wow, I mean,
no anesthesia, nothing.
This is fucking crazy.
No anesthesia.
I mean, for people listening to us, there's no PlayStation.
Nothing at all. There's not a socket to put the PlayStation in. What would you do with a PlayStation? No light at all.
Listen, they do have movie theaters and there are no
in Pyongyang. Everything is in Pyongyang. Nothing except that. Pre-Edison times, like 16th century.
So I really wish, I mean, the supreme leader should end his reign and...
How will... There's no... That's the thing, right?
I wanted to say die, but I don't want to get on his kill list. I mean,
look, the thing is that nothing can happen until, what Jordan Peterson says, right? When you have something to say, silence is a lie.
Yeah.
So these countries, USA, China, South Korea, they won't do anything about it. Now, apparently, there's this whole thing that in South Korea even you cannot voice an opinion against North Korea because the North Korean government is pressurizing the South Korean government. That you make sure that this doesn't happen. Otherwise, there will be problem. So the South Korean government doesn't want conflict. Of course. Why would they want to wage war against a country?
That's already...
I mean, these fucks would
win war easily, yeah.
He drops a nuclear weapon on South Korea, what's there to? He'll die, South Korea will die, everything will die, but everyone will die.
Yeah. I mean, they're weebs.
So who's to wage war with a lunatic?
I mean, South Korea can take one for the team.
South Korea, it's not just South Korea, right? Their people will die. Why would they want South Koreans to die at the mercy of all guy?
We are taking this for the team.
I mean,
the team is a world map.
South Korea is not just fighting North Korea, right? If South Korea wages war against North Korea, China will come with its own army. Do you think United States will help South Korea in this? They don't give two fucks about it.
I mean, United States would never wage a direct war with China.
Of course, they don't. I mean, go to war for their sake. Then when the war will happen for real, then America will go in. It's always been this. I mean, America doesn't give a fuck until they have an incentive. And that's all they care about.
Yeah.
I mean, John Cena को sorry बोलते हुए नहीं देखा तूने? Mandarin में.
Yeah.
Did you see that he mentioned Taiwan?
Yeah.
And then there was this whole video in which he apologized to the Chinese people for hurting their sentiments in fluent Mandarin.
That's pretty fucked up, I mean.
Doctor Strange, they had to change the Buddhist priest in the movie, right?
No, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen I also haven't seen, but like the scene in which Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch is sent to Tibet for something. I don't know the storyline. So there was a Buddhist
to
priest.
Find his locket.
There was a Buddhist priest who was supposed to show him the power and what he was talking about. China said no Buddhist priest here because that he comes from Tibet.
Yeah.
So if you see Doctor Strange, they replaced that with a woman.
Wow.
This is you can see that if on TV, if we see Doctor Strange, there will be a woman. They had to change that after because China didn't want.
But I believe China does believe in Buddhism a lot.
China has no religion.
No, but a lot of people do believe in Buddhism in China.
China has
they
no
have
religion.
pagodas all over.
China has no religion. China में religion नहीं.
हम इंसान हैं. So I mean, the year of dragon, the year of dog, the year of...
That's Chinese history, Chinese festivals. No religion, nothing.
Oh my God. These people in Southern Asia have caused a lot of ruckus.
Southern Asia नहीं, ऊपर China and North Korea.
Northern Asia. Southern Asia, the India and Bangladesh and all that. But yeah, again, if you look at it, that China, North Korea is so poor that they don't have electricity.
They are not poor. Again,
North Korea is poor. I mean,
it's on purpose. It's on purpose. The whole thing is on purpose. They don't have electricity because Kim Jong-un doesn't want electricity. I mean, they can test 4 missiles instead of 5 and give electricity and food to people. He can do that tomorrow.
Oh.
The purpose is to keep them hungry. They're of course poor because no country has trade with them except China. So they are poor in that sense, but it's not like people have to be be in perpetual starvation for their whole damn lives. No country is that poor in this world.
And that's fucked up.
I mean, what do you do?
So with that, just assume the fact that how good
How good we have it.
How good we have it here, whether we are across the border, in the border, outside the border.
Yeah, anywhere
Whether we
in the world
criticize-
except that place.
Yeah, so whether you hate on one country, you do not hate on one country, you love one, you hate one, you do whatever you want. I mean,
I drove the car in a different way. It's like, what is this happening? Like I'm sitting in a car,
yeah, listening to the podcast.
listening to a podcast
Yeah.
on my iPhone.
Yeah, iPhone, yeah.
It's
phone,
unbelievable.
phone.
Going to a class to learn martial arts on my own will. Like I have the audacity and freedom to
Epitome of freedom.
learn something. I mean, everything we do.
Us to
like,
record this
and
podcast, me waking up, taking my online classes,
Internet.
going out for a jog.
class on my phone, in my pocket.
Going out for a jog, as simple activity as that. I mean, going out for a walk, going out for a drive.
To be fit.
I mean, that's in North Korea, but that's through starvation, not
Yeah.
through exercise.
Yeah, you don't exercise. What is this exercise?
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, man. I mean, you've gotta respect these little things
Yeah.
a lot.
Unbelievable. And the problem of excess is something out of this world. Like
Yeah.
people getting fat, people eating too much, people enjoying too much, having too much alcohol,
Yeah,
having too many things,
yeah.
too much money. These are fucked up problems. Like how can
Super fucked.
how can you do that?
Super fucked.
Unbelievable.
With that,
Be lucky where you are.
feel lucky. I mean, go out for a walk. I mean, यही सुन के चले जाओ भाई. Enjoy yourself out there. You're allowed to have your choice of haircuts. You're allowed to have color your hair. You are
So
allowed.
fucking free.
You're not in the army because you're above 4'10". That's like
Everyone would be in army then.
हम साढ़े 14 साल सर्विस दे रहे होते हैं. I mean, that's just a very. I have no words for it, man. I mean, I lost words. So with that, just feel free. Respect the little things in your life because somewhere, someone in this world that we are living in, sharing the same sky, we have people that are not living the same life. They are living
They are
very differently.
7 billionth in rank.
Yeah.
Like for real.
7 billionth. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in ranking.
In population ranking.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they are the unluckiest.
They have it the
people.
worst.
Unluckiest people on this planet, and I just hope one day their luck shines on and they find themselves in a situation that is much more democratic, much more free, much more induced with freedom. But let's see
I don't know
how long
that-
it takes.
I don't know how that happens.
I don't know how long it takes, but I know how.
But
that
we
can
should talk
happen.
about this, right?
Yeah, we
the
should
least we
bring-
can do is broadcast
Spread
a message
awareness
out.
about it. Yeah,
I mean,
give out a word for it.
yeah.
For all of you couch potatoes enjoying your life.
For all of us, both of us.
For everyone. With that, thank you so much for joining us today's episode of Slippery Slopes and investing your valuable time with us. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Take care and do enjoy the little things in life. See you.